Warbroker's holiday zombie event modes have been an exciting part of the game for many years now. With the introduction of the new Alien Dead City in the summer, Warbroker's players get to enjoy event modes up to 4 times a year. While event-exclusive special abilities were introduced in 2022, unfortunately many players still don't know they exist, where and when to change them, and what the various abilities do. So it's definitely time for this abilities guide. First, you must select your ability before you start the game. From the Duos Party screen, hit the Menu tab, then under the Players tab go to the Loadout selection screen. Then go to the Ability 2 selection where you can choose one of the 11 abilities. Once selected, you can hit the Play Game button, and then back at the Duos Party screen again, you're ready to start. There are 11 abilities to choose from, with Stealth as the default. Some are more powerful than others, and some work better in different events than others. I'll describe each one with their durations and cooldown times as well as some of their characteristics. The Radar ability allows you to see the positions of all enemies within a certain radius on the minimap for 15 seconds. There's no cooldown, so you can reuse it immediately. Useful, but much less powerful than others. The Knockback ability increases the knockback effect of your melee weapons for 90 seconds. This can be fun during parts of the game that aren't too hard or against certain enemies, but is also not a powerful ability. It has no cooldown, so you can use it most of a match, you just have to reactivate it every 90 seconds. The Max Capacity ability gives you large backpack inventory capacity without needing a backpack. You have to physically activate it once for it to work for the rest of the match though, so don't forget to do that. Not particularly powerful since you can usually find at least a medium backpack, but it is convenient. Revive could be powerful as a team ability. It allows a player to revive a dead teammate with a 7-minute cooldown. Unfortunately, up to the time this video is being made, it has seemed to mostly not work. Unsure if it's buggy or if dead players are just leaving too fast, but it not working so much means most players will choose something else. The Air Strike ability lets you call down a powerful air strike on a location of your choosing with a 90-second cooldown. It causes no damage to the user, so you can call it down right on yourself. That can be very useful when in the middle of a mob of enemies. The Shield ability stops you from getting knocked around by explosions, allowing you to maintain control over your movement. The effects last for 90 seconds with a 90-second cooldown. It can be useful to stay in control when there are many enemies with knockback weapons, but does not help with the UFOs sucking you upwards in Alien Dead City. Also, while it stops explosions from pushing you around, it doesn't prevent or reduce their damage. The Speed ability gives you speed and jump enhancements. The speed part allows you to maintain your basic movement speed regardless of what heavier weapon you are carrying. The jump part allows you to jump 3 times the normal jump height. Speed lasts for 90 seconds with a 90-second cooldown. It can be very effective against melee attacking enemies, and in my humble opinion is by far the most fun to use. Agro tank reduces damage by a crazy 75% for 90 seconds. That's the tank part. The aggro part is that all enemies will target you. If alone, it means you can power through mobs of enemies while taking little damage. With teammates, you can help them by becoming a heavily armored target and drawing enemies away. After 90 seconds of use, there's a 90-second cooldown. When most abilities are being used, there's a visual effect, though some are not very noticeable. Agro tank's large red circular aura, as you can see around my teammate here, is hard to miss. The healing ability slowly heals the user and all teammates within a 15-meter radius. It returns about 3 or 4 health points per second. When a teammate is using healing, they will be surrounded by a large green circular aura, like the red one for aggro tank. If you see a player surrounded by one of those green circles, get close to them to use their healing. It heals too slow to be really powerful, but it can be enough to get you through some tough situations. The ammo ability, for a 90-second period, allows you to fire without losing any ammo and without reloading. There's then a 90-second cooldown before it's available to use again. Not only does it let you preserve ammo with unlimited firing, but allows you to generate more for free. Also, firing non-stop for long periods without the need to reload can be very powerful in tough situations with many enemies. A teammate using ammo ability will be surrounded by a large blue circular aura, like the one seen here. When within 15 meters of them, you can also use their ability. If you see one, get close to the player to save ammo. You have to have at least one bullet in a gun for it to work. A gun without bullets will still not fire. Finally, Stealth, the default ability, causes all enemies more than 10 meters away to ignore you for a 45-second period, followed by a 65-second cooldown. Enemies within 10 meters may still aggro on you. Being the default, this is the most used ability. It is also one of the most powerful and can get you through some very difficult situations, but keep in mind that if the enemies are ignoring you and you have teammates, the enemies will aggro on them instead. Teammates using the aggro ability have a subtle green electricity effect. Well, that covers all the abilities. As for which ability you should use, that depends on the specific event and situations you have trouble with. Try different ones, but Stealth, Aggro Tank and Ammo are the most powerful. Personally, I prefer Stealth for Zombie Battle Royale, Stealth and Aggro Tank for the Halloween event, Ammo and Aggro Tank for Alien Dead City, and Aggro Tank, Speed or Healing for the Christmas event. But what works will change as the developers update and alter the events and the abilities, so experiment and find what works best for you. That's it for this abilities guide. I hope you found it helpful. Check the video description for links to more information on abilities. And for more Warbrokers tips and guides videos, please like and subscribe.